Good evening, my dears. I'm Lady McCreepster. I'm hoping you're having a wonderfully frightful Friday the 13th. Today, I thought we'd check back in on the Rogers family again and see how they're getting on. But before that, I have a couple of very quick announcements to make. April 23rd will mark my 1-year anniversary venturing into your realm, or more aptly, the realm of YouTube. As such, I thought it would be very fitting to launch the rewards for the various Patreon tiers on that day too. As promised though, if you become a patron before then, whatever the amount, I have something very special to send your way as well. Also, some of you have reached out asking if I have merchandise you can get your claws on. I will be making various dungeon essentials available too on April 23rd, so keep an eye out for that on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Lady McCreepster. Such an exciting month April has turned out to be. Now that all that's done, let's get on with the show, shall we? So settle down now, my dears. Lean in closer, and we'll begin. We all sat looking at Frank and Teddy in the dim torchlight of the Disney Hell Management Office. He had just explained what Satan intended to do, though the why was still a mystery. What do you mean he's going to close up Hell? Miss Hatchetface asked, astounded.
He believes that the future of Hell is not stable. He wishes to relocate all operations to Earth.
But why? I asked. What does Earth have that Hell doesn't?
A great many things, Lord Rogers. Cotton candy, cartoons involving talking sponges, and perhaps most importantly, human souls.
Wait a second, Miss Hatchetface cut in. That doesn't make sense. If human souls are what Satan wants, then why go back to Hell? Why not stay here and oversee Earth operations?
I do not know the answer,
Frank and Teddy said.
He seems to believe there is some imminent threat to Hell's safety.
The words of Satan's phone call echoed in my mind.
Earth too?
He had said. I wondered. He could be planning anything, I said. I can't get a handle on that guy. One minute he's all smiles and friendly, and the next minute he's razzing a beloved family theme park to the ground. Miss Hatchetface shook her head. You don't know the half of it, she said. I'd be surprised even if Satan knew what his plans were. He's always been a couple of dice short of a Yahtzee.
What is a Yahtzee?
It's a game where... I began. It's just a way of saying Satan is crazy.
Of course.
We need to find out what he's up to, Miss Hatchetface said. Her face was stern and determined. How? I asked. He's all the way down in Hell. Do you know where he went, Frank and Teddy? Miss Hatchetface asked.
I do not.
Then how do we find him? I asked. I have an idea, Miss Hatchetface said. But you're not gonna like it. What is it? If Sara really is Satan's descendant, demons will be compelled to obey her. We could find someone who knows where Satan went and track him down. Isn't Hell dangerous? I asked. Not for the descendant of Satan. I scratched at my chin. All right, I said. Let's do it. You want to go to Hell? Please don't put it that way.
Let us make haste to the kingdom of Satan.
That's better, I guess. Frank and Teddy lifted up his arms and black and purple flames surrounded us, whisking us down to hell. We arrived to a red wasteland of yellow bones and black smoke. The sky was blood red and the clouds were bruised purple. Obsidian cliffs crowded the landscape, and the air had a sulfuric tang. Where are we?
This is supposed to be Satan's office.
It's gone, Miss Hatchetface said, stunned. Where do we go now? I scanned the horizon, but it was empty except for a colossal blue rock. There, Sara said, pointing at the rock. There? I asked. The rock? It's not a rock, she replied. What do you mean it's not a... The rock stirred, sat up, and began to pick its nose. Oh. What I saw could only be described as a troll. It had thick, scaly blue skin and sat on the ground with its legs splayed out like a drunk toddler. It had two stubby white horns that looked like they'd been chipped at with a jackhammer. It was clothed in nothing except a raggedy loincloth that could have served as a tent for a family of 5. It pushed itself up with a stone club the size of a Buick and stared dumbly at us as we approached it. As we bathed in the hot stink of its breath, it growled. Can it talk? I asked Miss Hatchetface.
Of course I can talk, it said. I was just clearing my throat.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'll have you know that I have a PhD in demonic studies.
Okay. The troll demon reached into one of the pockets of its loincloth and pulled out a pair of gold-rimmed spectacles. He pulled a rag from another pocket, wiped them off, and put them on.
Now, what do you want?
We were wondering if you knew where we could find Satan, Miss Hatchetface asked. The demon patted its huge belly.
Last I heard, he was on Earth.
That's it? Do you know what happened here? Where's Satan's office? The troll demon rubbed its chin.
Why should I tell you?
I opened my mouth to respond, but Sara patted me on the arm and said, I'll handle this one, Daddy. She stepped up towards the demon and puffed out her chest. My name is Sara Rogers, she said, and I'm the direct descendant of Satan. I command you tell us what you know.
A human descendant of Satan? Not likely.
The demon growled so loudly that the earth shook below our feet and our hair was blown back by its rank breath. You sound like you've got a cold, I offered. Would you like a throat lozenge?
I am in pain, it roared. Can you not tell the difference?
No. Why are you in pain?
I cannot refuse an order from one with the blood of Satan. Ugh. What do you want?
Tell us everything you know, Sara said.
I know quite a lot. I have a PhD in demonic studies.
You already said that. Just tell us the interesting stuff, Sara replied.
Fine. Satan's office was here. Now it's not. I was asleep and didn't see what happened.
That's it? Sara asked. Do you have any idea where Satan went?
He has forbidden me from telling. I cannot say, even to his descendant.
There was another earth-shaking roar and the demon fell to its knees.
He went to the gate of the Oraktar.
The demon dropped his club to the ground, sending up a cloud of red dust that all but blinded us. He was a shadow in the dusty fog as he seized his head with both hands and roared. Without warning, he grabbed the club again and swung it at us. He caught Frankenteddy in the shoulder, and the bear went flying. "Stop!" Sara yelled. The demon smashed his club down next to her, missing her by inches. The ground splintered, and chunks of dust and rock went flying. He swung the club at Miss Hatchetface. She stuck her hands out in front and caught it as it slammed into her chest. The blow sent her back 20 feet, but she didn't let go of the club. She leapt on top of it and dug her bare hands into the stone as the demon raised it for another strike. I rolled out of the way as the club came crashing down beside me. I looked up to see Miss Hatchetface clinging to the demon's head. He grabbed a hold of her and pulled her off, squeezing her in his enormous troll fingers. Something smashed into me from behind and sent me face first into the dust. I looked up to see Frankenteddy sprinting full tilt at the demon. He buried a fist into the demon's pendulous gut and it dropped Miss Hatchetface. She didn't move once she hit the ground. The demon raised its club to strike again, but there was a bright flash of silver light and the demon's head grew 10 times its size, sending him toppling headfirst to the ground, unconscious. I looked over to my left and saw Sara holding the remote of minor inconveniences. Frankenteddy stood panting with his hands on his knees and Miss Hatchetface still wasn't moving. I ran over and knelt beside her. Her eyes were closed. I bent down to see if she was still breathing. Achoo! Her forehead smashed into mine as she lurched forward into a sneeze. I saw stars. "Sorry," she said. "I'm allergic to hell dust." "It's fine," I said, rubbing my head. "You've got a really hard skull." She grinned. "Thank you," she said. Frankenteddy walked up and held out what looked like a polka-dotted piece of tablecloth.
"A handkerchief for the Lady Hatchetface," he said.
"Oh, thank you, Frankenteddy," she said. "But where did you get this?"
"From my pocket."
"You have pockets?"
"Of course."
"But you don't wear clothes."
"And?"
"Nothing. I don't need a handkerchief. Thanks, Frankenteddy." Miss Hatchetface looked a bit green as she handed the handkerchief back to Frankenteddy. "Are you, going to put it in your pocket?" she asked.
"Later."
"Okay." Sara came over and sat down in the dirt next to Miss Hatchetface. She didn't say anything, but the look on her face made it clear she was worried. "What the hell happened just now?" I asked. She shook her head. "I don't know," she said, "but it's not good. He shouldn't have been able to attack anybody with the blood of Satan. The moment he swung the club, he should have burst into flames. And..." She looked at Sara. "What?" Sara asked. "How did you make the demon obey you?" "What do you mean?" "You shouldn't have been able to counteract Satan's orders unless you somehow have more satanic blood than Satan himself, which is impossible." Sara frowned. "Regardless," Miss Hatchetface said, "this is no longer the place for a human little girl and her father to be wandering around. Frankenteddy, I want you to take them back." Sara opened her mouth as if she was about to argue, but she seemed to think better of it and closed it again, slumping her shoulders.
"I also believe it to be prudent,"
Frankenteddy replied. He raised his arms, and the purple and black flames licked up around us. But this time, there was no sensation of being sucked up through a straw. This time, we stayed exactly where we were. What the? Miss Hatchetface said, stunned.
I do not understand,
Frank and Teddy boomed. Miss Hatchetface turned her face skyward. Oh my God, she said. He sealed it up.
It cannot be.
What happened? I said. Miss Hatchetface looked at me. She had gone so pale she could have passed for human. Satan sealed the exits of hell, she said. There's no way for us to get back to Earth. Not until we find him. Oh, then I guess we go to this Auraktar place, wherever that is. Have you been there? At the mention of Auraktar, Miss Hatchetface went even paler. No demon is permitted at the gate of Auraktar but Satan himself, she said. Evil things live there. More evil than demons. Much more. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and bell icon to be notified of new uploads. If you're new to this series, a link to all the previous episodes is in the video description below. That's all I have for you for now, my dears. Be sure to come back and visit me soon.